Thor is back, but this time he's battling an evil elf. I'm Ron Burgundy. Thor, the Dark World. That's right, it's darker, because that's the secret ingredient to anything these days. Just go darker, like a black guy. Oh, comedy. This film is fucking awesome. It's a science fiction, action adventure, fantasy film that I really did enjoy a hell of a lot. I liked it more than the first Thor. I felt the first Thor had some things that could have been more fully developed, more fleshed out, and I thought the film made all those improvements. It's just a completely different vibe than the first Thor. You know, the first one is, it feels a little bit more like, oh, Thor is a fish out of water, and this one, it's a lot darker, but don't get me wrong, there's still a lot of humor in it. Sometimes it just feels like it's out of a comedy. Who would have thought Thor could be so funny? They should do a sitcom about Thor moving to the Big Apple as a struggling actor. Can we just imagine that for a second? Every time a casting director says, no, you're not gonna get it, just uses his fucking hammer. I will say, sometimes it does feel like a comedy script, so sometimes the humor seems a little out of place with the character, but I still found myself cracking up quite a few times. Let's get into this by talking about the title character, Thor, played by Chris Hemsworth, whose brother is definitely nowhere near as being famous, Liam Hemsworth. Early on in this film, we get to check out this dude's body, and whoa. I would totally suck this guy's dick. And then when he comes, I get shocked by electricity. Chris Hemsworth looks cooler in this film. They updated his suit. He brings the charm as always. He's just a total badass. See, in the first Thor, he was only Thor for like 10 minutes or something. In this film, he is Thor, the God of Thunder, for the entire film. And we get exactly what we want to see. The God of Thunder just kicking a bunch of ass. He's the shit. I wonder how big Thor's shits are. I wonder if you could touch it, if you get the power of the God of Thunder. I would eat Thor's shit. And of course, Loki, played by Tom Hiddleston. This character is always going to be around. There's nothing they can do to get rid of this bad guy. At first I thought Loki was a homosexual. Nothing wrong with that. It's just it was a little distracting as seeing him as Thor's gay brother. But this is my favorite portrayal of Loki we've had yet. I like what they did with his character in this one. I don't want to give away any of the surprises because the trailer does such a good job at teasing him as just being another bad guy, but they give him a lot more depth, a lot more character, and he's also really funny. I'm telling you, every character in this film is a comedian. For the reboot of Thor, they should just cast Dane Cook as Thor and Louis C.K. as Loki, and replace Idris Elba's character with Wanda Sykes. And he's a total badass in this film, man. And him and Chris Hemsworth's chemistry, it's the best we've seen yet. They have a lot of fun together. I was impressed with Kenneth Branagh's directing of the first Thor, but I thought the directing in this was a major improvement. The cinematography was absolutely excellent. It does have a much darker vibe about it. I mean, after all, this is Thor, the Dark World, and it does feel like a dark world. They probably eat dark chocolate. This film has a shit ton of action, and the action greatly improved. I honestly didn't care much for the action in the first Thor, but in this one it can be chaotic, but you can tell what's going on. It all looks very fucking cool. It's just so fucking sweet to see Thor, you know, do different tricks with his hammer and just kick some ass the entire time. I really love how we got to explore other worlds, especially really explore Asgard. It kind of has like a Star Wars meets Lord of the Rings vibe about it. This film's just absolutely beautiful to look at. Even Anthony Hopkins' Odin was more interesting to watch. Like I keep saying, he has a much darker role this time around. He becomes a cannibal. That's right, Hannibal is going to be in the next Avengers movie. I could totally see Hannibal and Loki getting along together. They'd be a good gay couple. And Renee Russo, this woman used to be really hot. Remember her in like Lethal Weapon 3? What happened to her? I mean, she's still pretty, but I wouldn't want to put my penis on her. But Renee Russo really got to show like, yeah, this is Thor's mother. I don't want to give it away, but they make her look cooler. I love what they did with Stellan Skarsgård. Not Peter Sarsgaard. No. That sleepy motherfucker can go kill himself. Mr. Oh, I'm always so tired. That's also my Mark Ruffalo and Tobey Maguire impression. And I guess David Schwimmer from Friends. Rachel. He's always so serious in these films, or any film this guy is in. But this time, they really turn him into like more of a comedic character. He's just straight out of a comedy. And I really enjoyed it. The transition made sense. He was funny. You get to see his body. Ew. And they even took more advantage of Idris Elba being just a total badass. You get to see more of his powers, more of his skill. They just have him kick some fucking ass. Plus, he's the only black guy in Asgard. They had him say the word dog a lot. You get to learn that he's from South Central. He's a huge fan of Chris Tucker. Oh, black jokes. And Natalie Portman. I love Natalie Portman. Gosh, I want to have her baby. Natalie Portman's character, yes, is extremely important in this film. Honestly, the material didn't really give her much to do. She was kind of just there. And then there's this one point where she travels through space with Thor and realms and stuff, and then they get to Asgard, and she's just like, yeah, that was sweet, let's do it again. There's like no shock, no fear. She's just like, yeah, this is awesome. And then she has some lines that sound like just a whiny teenage girlfriend that just seems so out of character. But fuck it, she's really hot. Damn. I gotta find a porn actress who looks like her. The production design was totally sweet. Like I said earlier, think Star Wars. The visual effects is dynamite. I thought the effects in the first Thor was okay. It seemed a little cheesy though. In this one, it was perfect. Darker, like Samuel L. Jackson. I even enjoyed the villain, the Dark Elf. Don't know his fucking name, but he was cool. He's not the scariest dude, not exactly the most equal guy to take on Thor, but he's definitely fun to watch. The character that was really scary was this buff soldier, the other black guy in the film. It was funny, I was in the theater, and then at one point, that character got stabbed. He was fine, but then this black guy next to me was like, they always gotta kill off a brother. That's real, I actually gotta hear that, and you only hear that shit in like a Friday movie. And there's this tiny ass role by Chris O'Dowd. He is one of the reasons you should watch this. The 30 seconds of screen time this guy has, totally worth it. And the finale is just totally awesome. I won't give it away, but it deals with like different realms, different worlds. It is just fucking sweet, really unique, really creative. This film I just thought was a major improvement. I loved its tone, I loved the action, I loved the humor. The characters were really fun to watch. I liked it more than Iron Man 3, especially because it doesn't pull any of that Mandarin bullshit. Let me get straight to the point here. All in all, I gotta say Thor: The Dark World got it right. Alright guys, thanks for checking out my review for Thor: The Dark World. Why don't you go ahead, scroll that comment box below, and tell me, would you suck Thor's dick or Loki's dick? And if you want to go ahead and follow me on Twitter, you can click the link right here. That's right. Why are none of you clicking it? And if you want to see a more in-depth review of Thor: The Dark World, go ahead and check out my show called Reasons to See that I do with my buddy Jerry. I'm definitely the Thor out of this friendship. And last but not least, if you want to get updated every time one of my reviews is out, go and click on this button by my dick to subscribe. That's right, click the dick. Because this god, he's ready to unleash his thunder in a much darker way.